Dear Virgo, have you ever felt like the universe was whispering your name, but you were too busy being strong for everyone else to hear it? There are moments in time that don't just pass, they arrive. And May 5th, 7th, and 9th, 2025, is not just a date on a calendar. It is a cosmic invitation, a rare spiritual alignment, a golden thread woven through time, traced by the hands of ancient astrologers, whispered by Buddhist monks in temples of silence, and even foreseen in the cryptic verses of Nostradamus. Why is this important for you, Virgo? Because this isn't just any cycle. This is the beginning of a 20-year shift, a divine corridor opening just for you. You, the silent giver. You, the quiet builder. You, the one who always puts logic before longing, yet feels everything deeper than you ever admit. Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, men cannot live without a spiritual life. Buddha. And right now, that spiritual flame inside you is being lit not by coincidence, but by alignment. You've been planting seeds in silence through kindness, through patience, through choices no one saw. But the universe did. Now, the soil is ready. And the harvest? Unimaginable. Let me ask you this. Have you ever known something without knowing how you knew it? Felt guided towards something, like fate itself left a breadcrumb just for you? Or wondered, why am I going through all this? What's on the other side? Well, Virgo, this is the other side. This is your turning point. Because the numbers you see now, they are not random. They are codes, ancient, sacred, sent through the fabric of the universe just for you. A sign that says, it's time to receive what you gave when no one was watching. Remember, you don't believe in fluff. You believe in what's real and what resonates. And if your heart feels something stirring right now, that's not fantasy. That's frequency. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. And Virgo, your moment has arrived. The 5th, 7th, and 9th of May are not ordinary days. They mark a rare convergence, Mercury, your ruling planet, aligning with the axis of karma, the spiritual gates of Buddhist energy opening wide, and 6 divine numbers whispered into your path. Becoming more than digits, they become your spiritual map. A treasure map to the next chapter of your life. Abundance, awakening, peace. You don't need to force it. You don't need to chase it. You just need to listen, trust, receive. Because the universe didn't forget you, it was simply preparing the perfect moment to deliver everything you've quietly earned. And Virgo, that moment is now. If you believe in the power of divine timing, if these words have lit a spark inside you, then this message was meant for you. And if you'd like to help spread this light, to support the sharing of wisdom and healing energy across the world, consider sending a super thanks. Your gift helps us continue creating messages of love, clarity, and truth, and also fuels charitable causes that bring real change to those who need it most. Thank you from the heart. Amen. And now, Virgo, let's speak honestly, heart to heart. You've always been the one who does it right, the one people depend on. You finish what others start. You make order out of chaos. You hold the pieces together when everything's falling apart. And yes, the world needs people like you. But can I ask you something deeply personal? Who holds you when you're tired? Because even iron bends under pressure, Virgo. And strength, real strength, isn't just in your ability to carry weight. It's also in your willingness to pause, to feel, to receive. To understand everything is to forgive everything. Buddha, you've spent so much time keeping it all under control. You've almost forgotten how to simply be. But the universe hasn't forgotten. And now, the number 6 comes to you not like a command, not like another task to check off, but like a soft light at the end of a long day, whispering, "Dear Virgo, you are allowed to rest." In numerology, 6 is the number of love, of healing, of harmony, of coming home. It doesn't push you to go faster, it invites you to slow down, to taste your morning tea, to feel the wind again, to sit with yourself not as a fixer, not as a planner, but as a soul longing to feel safe and whole. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Buddha. And that's why the energy of 6 is sacred. In Buddhist teachings, it represents the return to compassion, starting with yourself. Let me share a story, a true one. Maybe it's a mirror for you. Rachel is a Virgo. She works in finance in the buzzing heart of San Francisco. First one in, last one out. Every minute of her life is organized, optimized, scheduled. But over time, joy faded. Her achievements felt hollow. Even sleep became a stranger. One weekend, overwhelmed by a silence she could no longer ignore, she signed up for a 3-day meditation class. She didn't go looking for transformation. She just wanted to breathe. But that weekend changed everything not through fireworks, but through quiet peace. She came home and did something radical. She simplified. She let go of obligations that didn't feed her soul. She started asking herself, "What do I need?" instead of, "What needs me?" And slowly, she didn't just rest, she felt herself again. Virgo. This is the quiet miracle of 6. It reminds us that abundance isn't always found in doing more. Sometimes it's hidden in the stillness, in the meals you savor, in the mornings you don't rush, in the space where you no longer have to be on. This isn't the end of your journey, it's your return to wholeness. So ask yourself, when was the last time you were gentle with your own heart? What would it feel like to receive the same love you give to others? Can you believe, even for a moment, that rest is part of success? Because, Virgo, you don't become less by softening, you become real. You become whole. And from that place of wholeness, everything begins to shift. Virgo, you've carried the world on your shoulders for so long, but what if I told you the universe isn't asking you to do more? It's asking you to be softer with yourself, to finally give yourself the kindness you give everyone else. So write this down. Yes, right now. On a note. On your mirror. In your heart. I deserve to live gently. Let those words become your morning prayer, your sacred ritual. Because wealth isn't just found in what you produce, it's hidden in what you preserve, especially the peace in your heart. And sometimes, that peace is what calls prosperity straight to your door. Now, Virgo, let's talk about something you rarely admit out loud. You're fiercely independent. You pride yourself on solving your own problems, managing everything solo, staying 10 steps ahead with no help at all. And yes, there is beauty in that. People admire you. They rely on you. They look at you as a rock. But here's the secret no one tells you. Even mountains have rivers that run through them. Even strength needs softness to survive. Because no one climbs to the top alone. Every soul, no matter how powerful, at some point needs a hand to hold. And that's when the number 2 gently steps in. Not to strip away your independence, but to expand your strength through connection. In numerology, 2 is the sacred number of partnerships, compassion, harmony. It's the quiet reminder that while you can do it alone, you were never meant to. Thousands of candles can be lit from a single flame, and the life of the candle will not be shortened. Buddha. You see, Virgo, the flame doesn't grow dim when shared, it multiplies. Let me share a story with you. David, a Virgo in Portland, was a brilliant UX designer. Always solo, always structured, always in control. But over time, the spark that once fueled his projects faded. Every idea stalled. his creativity quietly burning out. One evening, on a whim, he invited a friend, a photographer, to talk about a meditation app he'd been dreaming about for 3 years. Not to collaborate, just to talk. But in that one conversation, something magical happened. The vision came back to life. Not just clearer, but alive. They teamed up, and 6 months later, the app launched. Not just functional, but beautiful, soulful, and full of light. And David said, "Sometimes what you need isn't more data, it's another heart willing to walk with you." So, Virgo, how many times have you quietly whispered, "No one will understand this," or worse, "I'll just do it myself, it'll be easier"? But what if, just this once, you let someone in? What if you made the call, sent the message, spoke the words you've tucked away for years? Because when we open our hearts, even a whisper becomes a bridge to something greater. The number 2 is your invitation not to surrender control, but to unlock a door, to collaboration, to creativity, to a deeper kind of success. And maybe, just maybe, the universe has been waiting for you to say, "I don't have to do this alone anymore." Because true prosperity doesn't come from isolation, it comes from connection. And connection starts with courage. So, Virgo, dare to open the door. The right hand is already reaching for yours. Will you meet it halfway? You're still you strong, smart, capable. But now, can you also let yourself be soft? Because prosperity is not a prize you chase, it's a current that flows to the open heart. And the number 2, that gentle tap on your soul we spoke of, was only the beginning. Now comes the final invitation, the most sacred threshold of all. A number with quiet power. A number that doesn't ask for more, but asks you to carry less. It's the number 9. And it's not here to demand, it's here to free you. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. Lao Tzu 9 is the number of completions. In numerology, it is the sacred spiral where all things come full circle, not because they failed, but because their lesson is now complete. Virgo, let me ask you, how many jobs have you stayed in long after they stopped feeding your soul? How many relationships, romantic or otherwise, have you carried on your back out of duty, not love? How many pieces of your past self are you still clinging to, afraid that if you release them, you might lose the version of you the world once applauded? But listen closely. Letting go is not giving up. Letting go is a spiritual graduation. It's how you say to the universe, "I've learned the lesson, I'm ready for the next chapter." And, oh Virgo, when you say that with honesty and grace, the universe does not delay. Let me tell you about Ellen, a Virgo from Chicago. For 11 years, she was a senior manager in a prestigious firm, respected, well-paid, polished on the outside. But inside, she felt like she was disappearing. Every day chipped away at her soul. Every meeting felt like performance. Every morning began with a silent, aching dread. Still, she stayed, for security, for status, for everyone else's expectations. Until one day, during a guided meditation, a single thought echoed so loud she couldn't ignore it. "I no longer believe in the life I'm living." She walked away. No backup plan, no guarantee. Just a belief that if she honored her truth, the universe would honor her back. 3 months later, Ellen opened a retreat space for mental wellness, a sanctuary where people heal, breathe, and remember themselves. Now, every morning, she rises with peace, not pressure. And she no longer needs to prove anything. Because when you release what no longer fits, what's meant for your next level finds you. So Virgo, right now, I invite you. Take out a notebook and write these words at the top of the page. "I am ready to end this, so I can begin." Then, beneath it, list what you know in your heart is ready to be released. It might be a belief like, I'm not good enough unless I'm productive. A title or role that no longer matches your soul. A version of you that was built to survive, not to thrive. Write it. Read it. Then take a deep breath and let the number 9 hold your hand. Because 9 doesn't close the door with sorrow, it opens the next with grace. You don't need to hunt your future down, Virgo. You only need to create space. The right path will walk straight toward you. You only lose what you cling to. So let it go so you can begin again. Not as who you were, but as who you were always meant to become. Virgo, what if letting go wasn't the end? What if it was the doorway? You see, that's not loss, that's freedom. That's the soft, silent revolution within you becoming a lighter, clearer, more abundant version of yourself. Not because you're holding more, but because you're finally holding less and holding it truer. The bird doesn't cling to the branch before it flies. Buddhist proverb. And when you do that, Virgo, don't be surprised if miracles begin to unfold. Because miracles aren't random. They're simply the universe responding to your most courageous act, the choice to let go. Now we cross a sacred threshold not into ordinary luck, but into something higher. The number 11 arrives, and this, Virgo, is not just a number. It's a master number, the number of spiritual awakening, soul truth, higher calling, and destiny reactivated from lifetimes ago. This isn't a whisper. It's the cosmic bell sounding from the mountains of your spirit. But let me be clear. The number 11 won't appeal to the side of you that seeks logic. It won't ask you for strategy, analysis, or certainty. It's not here to be understood, it's here to be felt. It arrives like a spark in the chest, a knowing in the gut, the stirring of ancient memories in your blood. It's not asking you to be ready, it's telling you that you already are. If the number 6 called you gently back to your heart, if the number 9 helped you release the weight of the past, then the number 11 is the sacred flame that lights your future. This is the moment you stop repairing the old life and begin building the one your soul actually chose. Let me tell you about Mason, a Virgo living in Boston. Driven, disciplined, successful by every external measure, he had it all. The firm, the prestige, the paycheck. But one night, alone in his apartment, he opened an old college notebook buried in a drawer. Inside were scraps of poems he'd written as a former version of himself. And for the first time in years, his heart stirred. It wasn't nostalgia. It was an awakening, a quiet yet powerful nod from the universe whispering, "It's time to stop surviving the life that doesn't fit and start living the one that does." 3 months later, Mason left his firm. He started a blog not for followers, not for fame, but to be real. His writing was raw, imperfect, honest, and because of that, it resonated. Thousands read it. Not because the words were flawless, but because the energy was true. That's the power of 11. It doesn't reward perfection. It responds to authentic alignment. So Virgo, take this to heart. Give yourself one quiet morning. Make a cup of tea, light a candle. Sit near a window and write not a to-do list, not a plan. Write your true vision, the one you've tucked away behind responsibilities and logic. Ask yourself, what would I create if I was no longer afraid? Who would I become if I truly believed I couldn't fail? What is the life that keeps calling to me, even in silence? It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be honest. Speak it aloud, feel the vibration of it in your body. Let it echo. Then, Virgo, take one small step. Sign up for that class. Send that email. Make that call. Or simply whisper to yourself, "It's time." Because when you align with the truth of who you really are, the universe stops testing you and starts co-creating with you. You, as much as anyone in the universe, deserve your love and your dreams. So, take this moment, Virgo. It isn't just astrology, it's your soul waking up. And this time, don't hit snooze. Virgo, the number 11 doesn't ask you to become someone else. It only asks you to have the courage to choose yourself again. The universe isn't waiting for you to be ready, it's waiting for you to believe. And when you do that, you won't have to chase luck anymore. Luck will come chasing you. You see, Virgo, the path isn't about one grand leap. It's one honest breath, one quiet yes, and one step in the direction of your truth. That's when everything doesn't just change, it elevates. And the number 11 walks with you like an invisible compass, pointing you to the life your soul has been quietly waiting for. Now, Virgo, let's talk about something few expect from you, but something the universe is urgently calling forth: your voice. You're known for your sharp mind, your precision. You're planning the one who smooths the edges and keeps the chaos in check. But behind that grace and logic, there's something else. A message. One that's been softly burning inside of you, waiting. A frequency of honesty, a vibration of healing, a truth the world desperately needs to hear. And that's where the number 3 comes in, not as a reminder, but as a soul calling. In numerology, 3 is the number of self-expression, creative flow, emotional truth, and connection through story, sound, and sincerity. It's not about saying more, it's about speaking from the soul. Because truth doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful, it only has to be real. Let me tell you about Sarah, a Virgo in Denver. Behind the scenes, she was everything: the organizer, the executive, the one who held the team together. But no one knew that deep inside, she once dreamed of being a public speaker. Every time she tried, fear took over. Not because she lacked something to say, but because she worried it wouldn't sound impressive enough. Until one day, during a simple team meeting, someone asked how she was really doing, and for the first time, she dropped the script. She told the truth about burnout, about longing, about how she'd lost herself in service to everyone else. The room went silent. Then someone said, "Why haven't you ever said things like that before?" Because that's the magic of the number 3. When you dare to let your voice rise, unfiltered, unpolished, unapologetic, you aren't just heard, you are felt. You awaken something in others and in yourself. When the lotus blooms, it does not ask for permission. It simply rises. Buddhist teaching, Virgo. You don't need to be anyone else to be worthy. You only need to believe that what you think, what you feel, and what you say matters. And now, listen closely, because on powerful days like May 5th, 7th, and 9th of 2025, when Mercury, your ruling planet, forms a rare trine with the Moon and Jupiter, your voice becomes a spiritual amplifier. These are days when your truth will not just be received, it will be magnified. When you speak during this cosmic alignment, whether it's a post, a phone call, a journal entry, or a podcast, it won't just be communication, it will be a transmission. So, don't wait for perfection, just speak. Even if your voice shakes, even if your words are messy, even if no one else is speaking yet. Because when you speak from your heart, Virgo, the universe listens and echoes your courage back as abundant. Virgo, the universe is calling you to step into the light, using your voice not just to speak, but to open a door. A door for yourself and for the ones who've been silently waiting for you to speak first. So, light that candle. Choose one story you've held close to your chest, one memory you never dared to share. Write it down or say it out loud. Whisper it into a quiet morning or share it with someone you trust. Or simply write this on a sticky note and place it on your mirror. I have something worth saying, and the world needs to hear it. Because when you do that, you're not just communicating, you're activating reality. You're sending a message not just to people, but to the cosmos. I'm ready to be heard. And when you speak from your heart, Virgo, the world doesn't just hear you, it responds. That's the energy of the number 3. Soft, yet deep. Gentle, but powerful. And once you allow your true voice to rise, not filtered, not perfect, but honest, everything begins to shift. Not loudly, but clearly. Not chaotically, but powerfully. You're no longer just the one behind the scenes. You are seen. You are felt. Exactly as you were always meant to be. But there's something even fewer people notice about you, Virgo. Beneath all your structure, your plans, your careful timelines, there's a wild spirit longing to break free, to dance in the rain, to take risks, to live more boldly, even recklessly, outside the lines. But because you treasure safety, that part of you often gets locked away, tucked behind task lists, rules, and dreams with due dates. And now, like a sudden gust of mountain wind, the number 5 arrives unapologetic, untamed, beautifully alive. It comes not to destroy your structure, but to breathe life into it. In numerology, 5 is the number of change, movement, personal freedom, and expansion through flexibility. It doesn't tell you to tear down what you've built. It simply asks, is there another way? That one question has the power to change everything. Let me tell you about Hannah, a Virgo from Austin, Texas. For years, she lived by the book. A successful financial advisor, clear goals, predictable routine. But her spirit? It was quietly wilting. Then one day, while dusting her bookshelf, she found an old journal filled with dreams of becoming a travel photographer. She laughed. Me? Travel the world? But her heart didn't laugh. It whispered, why not? She didn't quit her job on impulse. She expanded her life from the inside out. She enrolled in a weekend photography class, started taking pictures on work trips, and posted them to a humble little page. 6 months later, a travel magazine reached out. A year later, she took a 3-month sabbatical to Iceland, and there she captured a photo that made the cover. Hannah didn't abandon her old life. She let it grow wider. That's the grace of the number 5. It doesn't ask you to leap. It invites you to open. It whispers, what if the life you secretly crave isn't a risk but a return? You must learn to let go of who you were to become who you are. Buddha. So, Virgo, what part of you is waiting to be unlocked? What routine feels more like a cage? What dream have you postponed in the name of practicality? Write it down, then ask this. What's one wild thing I can do this month that brings me joy just because? That's number 5. That's freedom. That's the beginning of a new kind of abundance, born not from control, but from courage. Virgo, now is the time to ask yourself a sacred question. Is there something I've always wanted to do but kept putting off? Is there an experience that's been quietly calling you? A curiosity you never let bloom because it didn't fit the plan? Maybe it's learning a new language. Maybe it's signing up for a dance class. Maybe it's traveling with no itinerary, no schedule, just freedom. Or maybe it's as simple as saying yes to something you normally reject, just because it doesn't fit in your spreadsheet. The universe isn't asking you to abandon who you are. It's asking you to soften just enough to let your soul breathe, just enough so that when new joy knocks, you're there to answer. Don't miss yourself by clinging to a path you've already outgrown. Write down 3 things you've always wanted to try. Don't worry about how practical or possible they are. Just make sure they excite your heart. Then choose one and do it, even imperfectly. Because life was never about being perfect. It's about being felt. And that, dear Virgo, is the quiet wisdom of the number 5. Change isn't a threat, it's a gift. And for someone like you, who finds comfort in the predictable, this is your sacred moment to step into the unknown with a smile. Who knows? Maybe that's where your good fortune has been waiting all along. Virgo, after everything you've walked through the sleepless nights filled with quiet worry, the hours you poured into work, family, and responsibilities, the silent strength you gave even when no one noticed. Let this truth land gently. The universe is no longer testing you. It's opening a gateway. A new chapter is here, and May 5th, 7th, and 9th of 2025 isn't just another line on the calendar. It's a moment of cosmic activation, where Buddhist light, celestial alignments, and your personal frequency meet at one luminous point. The 6 sacred numbers you're about to receive aren't just lucky digits for financial gain. They are frequencies, they are codes, they are divine symbols meant specifically for you. Each number is a vibration that speaks. You've sown enough, now it's time to reap. You don't need to try harder. You don't need to prove anything. You've already lived with grace, integrity, and devotion, and that vibration, that steady, unseen faith, is exactly what the universe is now rewarding. Through signs, through miracles, through unmistakable opportunities lined perfectly along your path. These numbers aren't showing up by accident. They are showing up because you are ready. They are a reward for the battles you've endured silently, for the courage you showed when the path was unclear, for the quiet yes you gave to hope when everything else said no. And if, deep down, you've ever wondered, do I really deserve this? Let this be the moment where the universe answers, yes, you do. More than you've ever imagined. These numbers don't just mark potential financial success. They mark the beginning of a life that mirrors your true, highest, and most abundant self. This is no longer about predicting the future. This is about choosing it, choosing to trust, choosing to act, choosing to receive the blessings that are already seeking you. Thank you for being part of this journey. If this message stirred something within, like, share, and subscribe, so you never miss another sacred insight. Because your financial destiny isn't outside of you, it's within you. It's in your willingness to believe, to step into flow with the current of abundance, and let the extraordinary energy of the universe guide you to the radiant, miraculous life that has always been waiting for you. Your future isn't just coming, Virgo.